Hi traders, welcome to the new weekly forecast for the trading week beginning on March 24th. In the upcoming week, we do not have any major announcement. Most of the announcements will be revolving around inflation numbers. But in the current week, US Fed did not change the rate of interest, but they have emphasized, they have acknowledged that there is a slowdown in US economy, which should build up some pressure on US dollar in the coming weeks or months. And apart from that, stay tuned till the end because in today's video, I'm going to reveal a stock which could be a promising investment opportunity for all of you. So without wasting much time, let's dive into the charts and find the new tradable opportunities for the current week. So let's begin our technical analysis, and as usual, the first instrument is dollar index. I'll quickly start from the higher time frame, that's monthly. On the monthly time frame basis, this is still moving lower, and I can see it's moving downwards, and histogram and MACD, they are not showing any reversal signs. So long-term scenario still remains bearish for US dollar. I will also add the trend lines here. I need to zoom out a bit, and starting from the lowest, and here we have, this is the long-term trend line. So this is still higher than the long-term trend line. Let's move down to weekly. I will also add Fib retracement from the latest swing low to swing high. Let's move down to weekly now. Now here on the weekly time frame basis, I can see that price created higher high pattern in conjunction with higher highs on MACD histogram and MACD lines. The pullback, I think it's almost done, okay? And in case if sellers, they put some more pressure and the rising trend line is breached, after a successful retest, we can expect continuation in the downward direction. Else, there is a probability that from the current level, it can start rising. Let's move to the next lower time frame, that's daily. So here on the daily time frame basis, it is still creating a pattern of lower highs and lower lows in conjunction with MACD line, but not on the histogram. Histogram is showing double bottom here, which means there is a slowdown in the selling trend, and a short-term pullback is highly probable. In that case, I would like to apply Fib retracement from the daily high to the latest low point. I would also like to add here the falling trend line. So I'll start from the highest and I will go to the next sequence of lower highs. Let's move down to Forex. Now here on the 4-hourly basis, I'm expecting that dollar index can easily move higher and retest Fib retracement 50% level or maybe 61.8, which will also be a confluence of retest of the falling trend line, and this could be your next resistance, major resistance, and I can expect that sellers can come back. I expect that sellers will come back from this area. But in the short run, dollar index is under corrective pullback. At the same time, looking at the price trend, looking at the price pattern, the price behavior, the moves are not very strong, at least on 4-hourly frame. So this is the bullish divergence, which means the sellers are exhausted and the buyers have started creating higher lows here. But if you notice, the moves are not so big. So the price pattern is mixed. Let's move down to the next lower time frame, that's 1H. Now here on 1-hourly frame, definitely buyers are controlling dollar index, so we have bullish divergence, we got the breakout structure, and it has started printing higher lows on the chart. Now we have higher highs in conjunction with potential slowdown of MACD histogram and MACD lines. I'm saying still potential because it is not yet confirmed. So bearish divergence is potential, not yet confirmed. And let's move down to the next 15 minutes frame, next time frame. So here we have, again, I can see that dollar index is creating consecutive highs, but each high is getting slower than the previous one. So which is a sign of slowdown. In short, in the short run, okay, I'm expecting dollar index to move higher, complete its pullback, maybe closer to the trend line, and then reverse in the bearish direction or continue in the bearish direction. Now, since dollar index has started moving higher, so there is a corrective pattern building up. So euro dollar is under pressure now. So let's move to euro dollar. I'll start from monthly here. Now, on the basis of monthly frame, I need to pick the lowest point and apply the Fib extension, which is not possible. Okay, so I'll start with the highest, connecting the first high and applying the ABC pattern here. So Fib extension applied. I'm going to apply next Fib extension on the monthly frame. And here we see a magnet zone. So two lines coming closer, magnet identified. I also see a major support at 0.9777, slightly lower than the parity level. That's it. I can draw a falling trend line here by connecting the highest point. So euro dollar has not yet crossed the falling trend line on the monthly time frame basis. Let's move to weekly frame now. Now, on the basis of weekly frame, there is a probability to apply bullish Fib extension. So I'll start from the lowest, connect to the first high and the next higher low formed here. Let's change the color to blue here. So blue lines are representing our weekly level. So I got a duplication zone here. So this is our strong resistance magnet. So the red zone or the pink zone is highlighted as a resistance area, and that's it. I can see here that euro dollar is also creating a hidden bearish pattern here. Okay, moving now to daily. Now on the daily time frame basis, it failed to cross the falling trend line, point number 1. And I can see that buyers are exhausted. So it all started with bullish divergence, break of structure. So bullish pattern was confirmed, and it is still creating higher lows and higher highs. At the same time, if you notice, the last high, okay, it has printed a negative histogram here, which means the pullback has started. And it makes sense because dollar index is getting bullish in the short run. So euro dollar is inversely correlated with dollar index, and it makes sense that euro dollar will move down at least in the short run. So I can apply here Fibonacci retracement. I'll start from the previous low and connect to the current high. So there is a probability that euro dollar can move back towards 61.8. So in terms of price level, it can move down towards 1.0589. Short-term pullback is highly probable. Let's move to 4H. So here on the 4-hourly frame, I can see higher high pattern with bearish divergence of MACD lines and even on histogram. And the sellers have completed the breakout structure. So if I use a rising trend line on 4-hourly basis, this is going to be my latest rising trend line. So a pullback towards the rising trend line makes sense because it is also the same magnet area which I have highlighted with the help of Fib retracement 61.8, and then continuation higher. 1-hourly basis, same pattern. I can see here lower highs being printed on the chart in conjunction with lower lows, and there is a potential bullish divergence of 1H, which means a short-term rise and then again continuation. So in the coming week, I think the setup would be to sell on the rise, and once it reaches 1.0589 or maybe 1.06, we can again switch to buys, provided we have a bullish setup on the chart. The next instrument I'm going to talk about is crude oil. I'll start from monthly here, and I'm gonna apply on the monthly time frame basis. This is still creating lower highs, so this is high, lower high, lower high, and next lower high, and this is a very strong area of support. So let's mark a horizontal line here. On the basis of MACD, the histogram has turned lighter in color. So sellers, they look exhausted, and currently crude oil is sitting at a very major support level, that is 65.67. So in fact, it reached 65.67 and bounced off. Now let's move to the next lower time frame, that's weekly. So on the basis of weekly frame, I can see here that we have a major support, and there is a potential bullish divergence coming up. Again, it's not yet confirmed, so that's the reason I'm calling it as potential bullish divergence. At the same time, it's still printing lower highs with equal lows. So here we have high, major lower high, next lower high, and lower high. So let's apply a falling trend line here. If you want to connect a long-term trend line, you need to start from the highest level. So this is our long-term trend line, and if you want to connect a near-term trend line, so we can start from the previous high. So this could be a near-term trend line. Now, do we have a confluence? Do we have intersection of two trend lines? Yes, it's coming around 77.5. So 77.5 is the major weekly upcoming resistance level. I'm switching to daily now. Now on the daily time frame basis, if you notice, we have bullish divergence. So bullish divergence is again not very strong here because it's end to end, printed only on MACD histogram but not on MACD lines, and the histogram has turned bullish, which means there should be short-term pullback, maybe a retest of the one of the two trend lines, and then continuation lower. In order to turn bullish in the long term, it has to rise higher than the falling trend line. So break above the falling trend line, pull back and retest as support will change the bearish view to bullish, else the sellers will continue. I'm going to apply fib retracement from the recent high to the current low. So 50% pullback will bring it to 73.08. 38% pullback will be 71.41, and I'm expecting continuation in the bearish direction. As per my previous analysis based on monthly and weekly, when we applied fib extensions, multiple fib extensions in the downward direction, the potential target was 57.5 to $55 mark for WTI. Now, if you notice on 4-hourly frame, the buyers, okay, they are printing higher lows. So we have lower low formation here with bullish divergence of histogram and MACD lines. Buyers have completed the breakout structure. So this is our first bull run of 4-hourly frame, pullback, and now continuation. So I can use here Fibonacci extension bullish ABC pattern could be applied in the bullish direction on 4-hourly frame. So let's use it and apply our first fib extension in the bullish direction. So we got a strong magnet around 68, and the next strong magnet would be around 69.04, followed by 71.73, and ultimately coming around $73 mark, which will also bring it closer to the falling trend line. So these are the potential magnet zones. So in case buyers, they continue to hold the market in the near term, in the short term, I can expect crude oil to retest 69, 71.73 or 73.39 and then continue downwards, lower. Let's move to 1H here. Now on the basis of 1-hourly frame, the pattern is purely bullish. I can see here low, followed by higher low and higher low in conjunction with higher highs with no bearish divergence in sight. So price has created higher high pattern here along with MACD lines and MACD histogram as well. So lower time frame is bullish, medium time frame is bullish, higher time frame is still bearish because it has not yet created higher high or higher lows. Let's go back to the higher time frame, that's daily chart, and I'm going to bring multiple fib extensions in the bearish direction to set the bearish target here. So I'll start from the high of somewhere around 93, 94. So this is going to be my first ABC application in the bearish direction. Applied. Let's change the color of fib extensions to red. Now I'm going to use the next wave down. So this is our second A to second B and finally to second C. Did we get some magnets, bearish magnets here? Yes. So I can see 58.77 and 61.75. Now this time the levels are different from the previous week. Reason being because I have not started from the highest point. I have started from ABC somewhere in the middle. If I start marking fib extension from the highest level of the graph, the levels will be similar to the previous week's video. In short, currently crude oil is experiencing pullback. If you want, you can switch to short-term buys, only short-term, but in the medium term or long term, I'm expecting retest of the falling trend line area, coming closer to $73, $74 mark, and then continuation lower. And the next instrument I'm going to explain is gold. I'll start from monthly here. Now here, on the monthly frame, there is no change. Buyers, they are controlling. So MACD lines clearly rising, MACD histogram rising, price rising. So everything remains bullish on the monthly frame. So let's apply a rising trend line or the fib extension in the bullish direction, or we can use both. So I'll start from 2015 low and I'll connect the next negative point of MACD histogram. So our first rising trend line applied. I'm going to use first fib extension in the bullish direction here. Applied. So 161 is not yet done. So 3128 is the potential target on the monthly time frame basis, and the next target would be 3484, which is again a long-term story. Now let's bring a vertical line on point C and move down to weekly frame. Now what's the pattern on weekly frame? Even on weekly time frame basis, the pattern is ultra bearish, MACD lines bullish, MACD histogram still bullish, no signs of slowdown. It gives me opportunity to apply next fib extension and rising trend lines here. So I will use weekly vertical point and connect my first ABC. So first bullish extension of weekly frame applied, and let's change the color to blue, and I'm going to use the next wave in the bullish direction of weekly and then apply second fib extension here. Second fib extension applied. I can see here a confluence of support created by magnet zone, which is around $2,600 mark since it supports. So I'll change the color to blue here, and the next major magnet is coming around 3182. So 3128 to 3182, this is the magnet zone resistance, upcoming resistance point identified. Let's mark it red. I need to bring the vertical line to the latest point and move down to the next lower time frame here. That's daily. So here on the daily time frame, I can see some slowdown being created, and it's possible because dollar index has started rising. So gold is usually inversely correlated to US dollar. So if dollar is getting stronger, so there is a probability of some slowdown building up on the lower time frame. But again, it's potential, it is not yet confirmed. So starting from the vertical line, I need to identify the latest trend line. So I'm going to connect end to end, so negative to negative here. So this is going to be my latest rising trend line. Now since we have not crossed it below, okay, so the pattern still remains bullish. and we need to apply the vertical line to the latest point, and we can also use for the latest ABC Fib extension of daily here. Let's change the color to green. So green lines are representing our daily target. So 3085 is the potential daily target, which is not yet done. Now we need to move down to the next lower time frame, that is 4H. And looking at 4 hourly time frame, the pattern remains bullish here. It's still creating higher high. So we have high followed by next high, which is higher. We have high of histogram followed by higher high. Only on MACD histogram, okay, I have found a continuing style bearish divergence on the top, but the breakout structure is not yet done. In case breakout structure is not done, then we need to validate with the help of rising trend line, and even rising trend line setup is intact. So this is the 4 hourly rising trend line, which is not yet broken. I can also use here reverse Fib retracement to look at the levels, potential levels. So here we apply reverse Fib. So reverse Fib is also a method to look at the future extension levels. So 3057, I think 3057 is already achieved, and the next is 161. So 3070 is the next target in sight. On the basis of reverse Fib extension, if 3015 holds as the current support, we can expect continuation from the same price level to the next target of 3070 to 3085. In case if 3015 is breached, then a retest of the rising trend line area is possible. So here we can expect 2955 could be retested and then continuation higher. Looking at the histogram, the current area, the sellers are not looking very strong because it has turned from dark red to light red. So selling pressure is easing off. Moving down to 1H. Turning back to line chart. Now only on 1 hourly time frame, I can see that it is still creating lower highs. Lower high, lower high, lower high in conjunction with lower lows. And there is no bullish divergence in sight. So buyers, they have to reclaim their position in order to take back the control from the sellers. So I'm going to use a falling trend line here. So a breach higher than the falling trend line would give me the comfort to continue in the bullish direction on the lower time frame. Else, it can move back to 3032 and continue for the retest of the rising trend line. So this is the technical analysis for gold. I'm not moving down to 15 minutes. Now finally, I'm going to reveal the stock which has a promising setup on the basis of technicals. Now here the stock is Uber. Okay, now I'm going to reveal the targets only on the basis of Fib magnets, and I'm going to create a short to mid-term plan to hold this stock, okay, and my target is purely on the basis of technicals. I'm not taking into consideration the fundamentals. As you know that I'm a big fan of technical chart reading, so I pay higher weightage to technical analysis in comparison to fundamental analysis. So please keep in mind, fundamentally market conditions can change anytime. So here I'll start from monthly time frame. So this is the first monthly high followed by the second one. So we have a higher high pattern. I do not have enough data on the basis of MACD, so I cannot compare on the basis of MACD here. Looking at the current picture, MACD histogram is running bearish, but the selling momentum is not very high. That's it. I can apply here Fibonacci retracement starting from the lowest, connecting the lowest point to the current high, and it has already corrected 38% after creating the higher high pattern. Now let's move on to weekly. Now on the basis of weekly frame, I get the opportunity to apply the rising trend line here. So I'll start from the lowest and I'll connect with the next high. So this is the rising trend line on the basis of weekly frame here. So currently it created bearish divergence on the basis of MACD lines and MACD histogram, so double bearish, but the breakout structure did not happen. So basically buyers, they are holding above 56.83. So 56.83, or in round number we can say $55 mark, is a very strong support. So I expect that until it remains higher than 55, or in case if sellers want to reclaim their position, I can also use fib extension in the bearish direction here. So extension in the bearish direction applied. So here, in case if sellers want to reclaim their position, the worst case scenario I can see, it can move down to 49.83 to 53.5. So this is the zone I'm talking about. So this is the worst case scenario I'm looking at. But I'm going to apply multiple fib extensions in the bullish direction, which will give us the future target. So first fib extension in the bullish direction. Applied. Since it's bullish, let's change the color to green. So if you notice, it reached exactly fib extension 161, and the next potential extension target is 200%, which is giving you the price level of $100, and followed by 2.618, so price target of 124.65. So first fib extension in the bullish direction applied. Now I'm going to use my second fib extension in the bullish direction, and I'm gonna cover the biggest wave. So this is the biggest wave, the next one. So I can say that we got a magnet support zone around 60, and the next target on the basis of magnet is 124 to 125. Current price for Uber is 75.84. If you buy at the current level and if you hold it, even if it drops to $50 mark, okay, so your risk in this is just $25, but the potential reward is $50 because I'm targeting 125. So this is the setup on the basis of monthly and weekly. Now let's move down to daily. Now here, if you notice on daily time frame, after retesting this trend line, making a new high and creating a pullback, now the buyers have come back and they have started creating higher low, the sequence of higher lows here. After falling and breaching the rising trend line area, falling lower, it has quickly reclaimed the position and maintained the support of the rising trend line, and after creating a pullback, buyers have taken support and it starts rising again. MACD histogram about to turn bullish again. So daily time frame is also looking bullish to me. I can use my third fib extension, assuming that this is the lowest point, MACD. So I can use my third fib extension here. And I need to change the color to purple. Okay. So here, the first target would be 85, near-term target, followed by 100 to 104, and finally I'll be aiming for 125. I'm not going to the next lower time frame because it's short to mid-term plan. Okay, I'm not looking for very ultra short-term trades here. So I'm planning to invest, I'm planning to hold Uber. I'll be buying at the current levels. I'll be buying again if market dips and gives me a discounted price level, and my ultimate exit level would be around 125. So I hope my video adds value to your trading plan, and if you like the video, show your support, give a thumbs up, and please do not forget to comment on the video. It helps to bring more viewers to my video and keeps me motivated. Take care and have a profitable week ahead. Bye-bye.